Yes, great to see you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we are good to go.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sarah Shearer. I'm the chair of the AdHoc Strategic Plan Committee, and I call this meeting to order. The only item on tonight's agenda is to walk through the strategic plan process with our consultant, Mary Ellen Pichet. So tonight is really going to be informal, and we just plan to walk through the process and get a general idea.
Okay, with that in mind, I prepared a little PowerPoint with a timeline of activities. Is that okay to share?
That would be great. Just one thing, I apologize. I forgot to ask for public comment. I'm not looking at my board docs agenda.
Okay, one sec. Okay, so we did not receive any public comment for this meeting. We do always remind people that they can submit public comment via email at publiccomment@albanypubliclibrary.org. That is publiccomment@albanypubliclibrary.org, all one word. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 518-290-6905. That can be, we ask that you leave your name and your address as a City of Albany resident on either case, and those are regularly monitored.
Thank you, Melanie. And Mary Ellen Pichet, I'm sorry, Mary Ellen, that sounds like a great plan if you want to take us through that.
Okay.
And in order to share your screen, Melanie can, oh no, she can share her screen,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
you can see my screen now, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so. Okay, so here we go. So I put together this timeline based on your the specs in your RFP. And so here we are today. And the first task was to have this meeting and for me to get updated on policies, procedures, and initiatives. So having served on the board, I feel I'm in decent shape there, except for what happened in between. And so I've been going on the website, taking a look at your board meetings, the community report, your most recent strategic plan. And so one thing I was wondering here, so the strategic plan that I see posted has goals and objectives. I don't see, doesn't mean it's not in there, that I don't see an operational plan. Or, Melanie, you had talked about, you know, as you did it in the past and continued to do, is update regularly the board on the strategic plan. And I think you're at 85% of, compliance with that. Or so, do you have the latest version of that you could send me?
Yes, I can definitely send that to you.
Okay, great.
We had it broken down by the goals.
Right.
So there's like 4 different documents with each of the goals.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that would bring me up to speed. I've been, I'm still on your listserv, so I've been getting your newsletters and, watching you through this, 2+ years of pandemic pause and emergency shutdown, which you just lifted, and the services you were able to provide and not provide and so forth. So anything else I should know?
So I think, I kind of was describing to you a little bit about, our shakeup of staffing that's
Right.
going on right now.
Right.
So that would be the first thing I would inform you of. So hopefully I'm hoping in the next month we'll have an executive director, an HR manager, and people hired for those L2 positions that are our branch manager positions. That's our intent. And I think once we get those positions on board, then we can have more in-depth conversations about the direction that those additional members to the administration team
Okay,
along with the administration team, could provide a little bit more of a structure of vision and goals from the staff side. And then obviously we would work for the board on their side of things as well. I'll let Sarah
Right, well,
speak to-
yeah, well, the timing is good. If those positions get filled and, we launch this process for those people to be on board and participate, will be, good orientation and grounding for them, as well as fresh eyes into the past and to the future, to inform the future. Okay, so that's task 1. And so we're pretty much in good shape there. Now, task 2. So this is focus groups and surveys, benchmarking, and environmental scans. And I've, already initiated some work on that. And, in terms of focus groups and surveys, a couple of questions. Have you surveyed your patrons in, say, the past 2 years?
I'd have to pull those for you. I know we've done some informal surveys.
Okay,
Nothing strategic, like full strategic plan, but we generally had you'll see it's one of our goals that we had a regularly scheduled spring and fall survey with staff. I know we backed off a little bit during the pandemic, but I know we did at least one in the last 2 years.
okay, so yes, send me whatever you have if you would. And so if you've had staff, you said staff, how about patrons? though?
Oh, that was with patrons.
Okay, so how about staff surveys? Any?
I don't think we've done an official one in 2 years.
Okay.
It's been during the pandemic, one of the things that we did is we had essentially regularly scheduled staff meetings. We were doing weekly all staff meetings, especially when we were in a virtual setting. And then we've gradually reduced those, or in the last, since February, they've been monthly again, so.
Okay,
I will add, not a formal staff survey, but staff was recently surveyed by the executive director search consultant we worked with. Our consultant helped us in getting feedback from board members, staff members, and I'm not sure if it would be helpful to you if we could connect you to, because I believe he does have general feedback from staff from the last couple months.
that would be great. Yeah, and any input we can get into this process from staff, key stakeholders, patrons, that would be great. And we'll see what we have there and then decide what else we need to do. And in terms of focus groups of key stakeholders, so the time frame for that would be June, July. And this is all leading up to your December 1st strategic plan draft to present to the board subsequently. Okay, so how about benchmarking? Do you have any that you're currently doing? Any sources that you compare yourselves against on a regular basis?
So we usually take a look at the, always get this mixed up, I think it's library journals, star libraries. We always take a look, based on our population, physical boundary size, staff size, and budget. We tend to try to find the top 5 that we close match with those and to see how they're doing. So that's usually how we're benchmarking.
Okay, so have you done that recently, say the past year?
Probably not in the past year.
Okay.
Once again, everything kind of got stalled because of the pandemic.
Absolutely. Okay.
Especially with losing the director,
Yeah.
7 months ago, 6 months ago.
Wow, time flies. It's been a long
Yeah.
Okay, and so I have some other thoughts about these, and again, we'll see what you have and we can go from there. Okay. So then task 3 in August would be to compile the data and present it to you folks, and then design and plan a retreat. So I've already rough sketched that, and I was thinking of a 4-hour, a half-day retreat with the board and some key staff. And some of those attend the board meetings already. And you would identify who else you would want to be there. And I would use a World Cafe model where through all of the data that we've collected, we identify 3 to 4 key areas. And probably, not all that different from your last strategic plan. You had 4 buckets that, you built out. And we would do that by having everybody rotate through each of the areas and sort of do a mind dump. And I would ask that maybe a staff member stay at one of these breakouts and collect from all of the rotations of the groups. And then in the second half of the retreat, we would start to put that together in terms of goals and hopefully even some objectives. And people will come up with some tactical steps just because they have the urge to push, and get things moving. So we can manage that. Now going into this though, to prepare for the retreat, and another piece of the information would be a SWOT analysis and sort of a dreams and hopes kind of thing as well. So, we would want to do that with the whole board, but that can be kind of offline. People submit it to me, I collate it. You can do a percentage of the staff, same way. It just all comes into me and I've got one report for you. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and what their dreams for the future is for APL. And there's always good ideas when you ask people that open-ended question, Okay, comments or questions so far? Okay. Then, okay, so this is the half-day retreat, somewhere October-ish. Does that work? Okay.
So this would be in addition to this would be after the August half-day retreat.
No, I'm sorry. So let's go back here.
I'm sorry.
August would just be designing and planning the retreat, set a date,
Gotcha.
invite people and so forth. But then we would actually, because August is a terrible time to do that. I'm sensitive to that. So actually to have the retreat in October, maybe late September, if that works better for you.
Okay.
We can decide as time moves forward. And then in November, create the draft of the strategic plan. And so I remember when I was on the board, and I think, well, we had a consultant. I don't remember exactly who, but we got this far with it. And then what Scott did was to bring the goals and objectives back to program managers, branch folks, and have them flesh out some of the tactics, because as a board, that's hard for us to do because that's not really our job to get that much into the weeds. They don't want us to get that much into the weeds, and so it's sort of a partnership of the board laying the overriding goals and objectives with staff participation, but then coming down to the next tier, staff kind of drafts that out and creates that. And then we come to task 5. We then have a draft strategic plan. And so my hope would be, not my hope, we would definitely have goals and objectives. I don't think we have to have the tactical pieces yet or the first year's operational plan, because the board really should have a look at the goals and objectives and have the opportunity to weigh in on those. And so the operational plan can follow. So does that make sense in terms of a path forward?
Yes, that makes sense to me, and it sounds good. I like having a fall date for the retreat, since as we discussed, 4 out of 9 of our trustees, myself included, have terms that end June 30th. So we'll be gaining 4 new trustees July 1st.
Right.
So I'm glad to see that August is when we're first getting input as far as date is concerned. So all of the current players will be onboarded at that time. So that will work really well.
So often with a strategic plan, one of the first steps, beyond collecting input, is to revisit your mission, vision, and values. In your community report, Melanie, you mentioned that, this crisis was an opportunity to empower people, and it really played out. So entertain, educate, and empower, whatever order that goes, served you well pre-pandemic and clearly during the pandemic. So the question is, with those lessons learned, will it serve you post-pandemic? And so is that a discussion worth having, or is it a given?
I love our mission statement.
Yeah, it's a keeper.
It really does encompass very succinctly everything we do.
Mhm.
It was one of the things that actually drew me to the library when I read it and why I wanted to apply for working at APL. I'd be hesitant to make any grandiose statements about the potential changing of it without the director. I would definitely
Okay.
want that person. You realize I'm a little hesitant with making any, because I know we're so close to hiring that director position that I'd like to have.
Yeah. And so we wouldn't be doing that this evening, but just.
I know.
Raising the question is, do we need to do that exercise as part of the strategic planning process? Or is everybody comfortable? And maybe that's just a question at your next board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at our mission, vision, and values. Are these solid? They served us well pre and during pandemic. Are they solid? And really, are they the foundation for moving forward?
And I think
call to action.
Looking at, our mission statement, I think, is solid. The vision statement, I know we added to the strategic plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would definitely be worthwhile getting some insight on potentially altering and, changing for, because the previous strategic plan was written before the pandemic. And now that we've gone through the pandemic, that our vision for what the library is and could be has definitely changed. So I think, it would make sense to revisit the vision statement. And I think we heard quite extensively from staff throughout this whole thing that values for the library would be a really good addition. We've never had a solid value statement for the library. And I think at this time, that would be very much welcomed by staff and I think the community as well. So I think it would be worth creating a vision statement or a value statement.
So here's what I would suggest. At the next board meeting, just focus on the mission and put that out to people in terms of its viability going forward. Now, when we do the SWOT analysis and I ask for the dreams piece, that could be input for the vision statement, any reworking of the vision statement, right? And then also in the SWOT analysis, we might be able to pull some values from that. If I'm seeing trends across a lot of people speaking about, specific kinds of values or behaviors or characteristics, then we could tease that out and put that before people. And it would be good if we could do mission, vision, values before the retreat, because
Definitely.
We'll need the whole 4 hours for the rest of the work.
Definitely. And I think, those will actually impact the direction we take with the strategic plan as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I think part of the discussion we have to have, especially when it comes to the value statement, is we have done some DEI work in the last, 24 months. And I think it depends, I won't speak for the board, but I know the staff definitely would like to see that utilized as part of the strategic plan. Not necessarily have it be the entire strategic plan, obviously. That's why we had brought you in, so not to use that as our strategic plan, but I think a lot of the work that has been done should be given to you for the background and benchmarking.
Perfect, perfect. And that should feed right into the values.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I feel like I'm ready to go. And if this, framework works for you, I'll start rocking and rolling.
Yes, this looks good to me. Basically my intent in going about this process, like I said, with 4 out of 9 trustees about to come off soon and new trustees about to come on, I wanted to get the process started. And
Yeah.
I knew that there was going to be work on the front end, researching, surveys. So I was hoping that could get done now so we could start moving. And then really the input period when the new trustees come on board, potentially our executive director. So I do think this plan, the timeline makes a lot of sense and everything lines up well.
Okay, good, good. Yeah,
Now, Sarah, do you have the DEI stuff, or is it just the folder? So I should probably share the folder.
I believe it's been shared on board docs. I think we hit it. No, you know what? There was it got reordered. I asked for it to be reordered. So let me search my emails. Scott might have emailed me the most up-to-date version before he left.
Okay.
So I will add that to my list as well. So I will connect Mary Ellen with our executive director search consultant to get you the staff feedback from that.
right,
And
good,
I'll also search my folder for the up-to-date DEI plan.
good.
And I'll get you a lot of this stuff next week. Stephanie Simon, who's the keeper of a lot of our survey materials, is on vacation this week. So
Sure.
when she gets back next week, I'll get that to you.
Yeah, I think this is a comfortable schedule. It doesn't feel rushed. And it does provide for people coming and going, transition, overlap, all of those summer vacations. Yeah, all the recruitments you've got in the pipeline. So I think this is a comfortable schedule.
Definitely.
So a detail. Would you like me to initiate a contractual agreement, or are you going to do that on your end?
We can probably do that.
Okay.
Sarah, I'll work with you on getting the wording for that.
Yeah, and Luke Bobbin, or can we handle this?
We'll probably obviously loop Bobbin for
Okay.
any of it. Just, I mean, we can work on it. I always just run everything by him just to make sure we're not forgetting anything.
Well, that's what you're paying for.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's done well in his career since I left the board.
He's
And
doing-
that's not cause and effect, but
I'm a little jealous of their new acquisition of the building. I was hoping to turn that into a library, but
what
they Whiteman, Austin, and Hannah purchased the Union Station building.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So I told him I'm very upset because I had plans to
Yeah.
put a library there instead, but
It's a beautiful building.
It is.
Beautiful space. Okay, and they'll do something with it. So that's
yes,
good.
they'll do it. They'll do well by it. He's actually already using our library collection to look the history of the building up.
Oh, good. Good. Well, of course, Historic Albany Foundation will have a bunch of stuff too.
I'm sure.
Yeah, good. Okay, so are we all set?
It all sounds good.
Thank you. Good. You guys are easy to work with so far.
We try to be.
It's a pleasure.
Well, and it's easy when you have as much background on us as you do. So
Yeah, it in some ways it feels like a short period of time since I left, and it's been several years now.
Mhm.
You were just coming on, Sarah, weren't you?
yes, we just missed.
Yeah. So, and you're going, oh, so that's 5 years. My goodness. Well, we've all been busy. It's a good thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll get moving on my end. I'll, look for the documents that you're going to forward to me, and we'll move forward.
That sounds great.
Okay, this is going to be fun.
Definitely. Well,
Always
thank you
love to
so
get
much.
plan.
You're welcome.
Okay, good to see everyone.
Okay, thanks,
Oh,
Arlene.
could I get a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
Yes, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Arlene. I'll second that. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. To 6:27 meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay.
Thank you too. Hope you feel better, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah.